The biggest mistake that most people make when it comes to selling is that they think that people buy from a logical part of their brain. If you have to summarize the brain in 3 sections, there's the logic part where we make decisions. There's the second part of the brain, which I call the limbic brain, which is all about emotions. The third part is what we call the lizard part of your brain. That's the part when you actually make decisions. It may be logical for someone to buy your product. Say for chiropractic, it's a service. It's logical for me to get lifetime care. It must be logical too for my patients, as long as I explain the logic behind it. It doesn't work that way. People don't buy on logic. Is it important to talk about logic? Absolutely. But people don't buy on logic alone. You need something else. Logic is the headspace game. When you go buy a car, it's about how fast that car goes, how many horsepower, how fast can it go from 0 to 100. It's practical. It's got more space. It drives fast. It's more efficient. Those are all logical explanations on why someone should do something. But you gotta understand your customer. Logic is important to talk about, to really focus in on, I just got soaking wet. But it never creates the emotional tie that person needs to really become a lifetime raving fan of your product. Note to self, not to stand on top of a blowhole when filming. Think of a product that you absolutely love. Think of a product that you refer to people over and over again. The first thing that comes to my mind is Apple. I have a Mac, I have an iMac, I have an iPad, I have an iPhone. Everything is Mac in my household. I'm a Mac fan. So whether you're a Mac fan or not, you know people who are Mac fans. They're fanatical. They're fanatical about the brand because they love it. Apple is a perfect example where a brand is not based on logic. Why would anybody pay a premium price for a laptop when you can get it for half the price? Decision is based on emotion. You see, what we do is we buy on emotion, and what we do is we justify with logic. Apple does a really good job in their advertising. Apple doesn't sell you on logic. They sell you on emotion. They don't tell you all the specific details of a particular product. What they do is they show you how you could feel if you use their product. What you're not trying to do is manipulate someone. What you're trying to do is tapping into their emotional state of why they should use your product, why they should use your services. If you want a raving fan, they have to be emotive about it. If you just sell on logic, they'll be a temporary customer. Let's face it, this drone was an emotional buy. There's no logical reason why I need it. I would justify to myself why this was an investment to me. I'll use the excuse of the vlog. I need this, I need the footage for the vlog. But let's face it, this was an emotional buy, not a logical one. We all have these emotional buys. Think about your shoes. Think about the clothes that you actually have in the closet. Think about the car that you actually drive. Did you really need that? Of course not. You would emotionally bought that car because of an advertising you just saw or how that product makes you feel, and then you justify with logic. No one loves to be sold to. Well, we all love to buy. In the marketing process, tie in your emotion of why someone should buy your product. Emotionally, how it makes them feel. You need to speak to in their values. You need to be able to read the customer. You need to understand what's valued to them, because that's the only reason why they're going to continue using your service and tell everybody else. See, now I'm going to have to go fly my drone just to justify to myself why I bought that thing. Hope you enjoy the footage. Was it worth it? Absolutely.